Hi. I'm going to pull a few cards for the next 4 days for the week. You can compare and contrast the videos and the playlists, and I'm going to move on to a creative reading and just pull from a bunch of different decks and see what I come up with. So 4 cards for the highest and greatest good for the next few days. I just realized I'm still wearing like these hair tie things. Ties, but okay. Focus. And for the highest and greatest good for the next 4 days, general energies, 4 cards, the Fool, feeling new at something, 0, starting over, going home, 9 of Rods or Wands, what's new, what's next, last step. It's the 9 and the 0 that I've, there's a video in the supplementary playlist also about the 3, 6, 9 and Tesla, and 9 and 0 being at the same. You can go back and watch it and explain this better than I could, but this is the beginning and this is the end of something, so maybe you've just sort of finishing up the last few things before starting over on something or starting new with something. It's like the last step and wondering what's to come and having all this experience and things like that to work with. 2 more cards for the next 4 days. The Knight of Swords. So perhaps a Gemini or an air sign, Aquarius or Libra. This could just be bringing something to someone's attention, making a point, saying things very straightforward, maybe a little bit overzealous, but it could be a message coming in or just a lot of information being brought to your attention, like I said. And there was one other thing. Be taking a trip also. Taking the week off. And or there's one other thing having to do with the 0 and the Fool and 9. I also thought that tonight would be a good night to do a reading because I've also been talking a lot about the High Priestess and the Magdalena Astroid that you can look up in your birth chart, and I was wondering what it meant to have like 1 at 9, so I felt like that kind of like the parallels between the Tesla 369 and having it at 9 degrees, like in second house. There's something about that that would apply to others that I just can't seem to remember, but I guess, yeah, every, even all the different, if it comes to me, the whole thing, otherwise I'll just be telling you pieces of story. Oops. I felt like it was very High Priestess Moon energy, and also I shuffled all these cards really, really well before this reading. I want it to be as like good as possible, but the moon kept popping out, number 29. So I feel like maybe, and also Tuesdays are supposed to be good days for me, so I'm hoping that I can tap into that sort of High Priestess Piscean energy. And it's actually where I have Pisces, so I'm like really hoping to get into that Yeah, High Priestess mode and see what comes through. Let's see for Friday. Swapped out again too. This also came through recently as another translation for how are you adjusting. So making some adjustments, or just two polar opposites to, I want to say, like two ends of the spectrum but somehow connected. Could be just juggling things around, or changing things up a bit, choosing between two, trying to find some sort of balance of elements, maybe. Something is like maybe either half done or half explained, or there's another factor or something else you need to consider. I'll pull one more for two. Second house, your also, I mentioned, so maybe it has something to do with value, and also something else that came through earlier today, which I thought was interesting, was going back through my videos to see if I missed anything. I mentioned the Seven of Pentacles, which means has come through as money doesn't grow on trees, but then, that's one way of looking at it, but how does that translate? Because money, value, things like that have been topics and themes, and it's part of your astrological wheel, the second house, of the things that you value, and but also things like diamonds and gemstones and things like that have been coming through a lot too. So just, I don't know if that means anything, to anyone, but yeah, so I was just thinking also, so just different translations of the same thing, like money doesn't grow on trees, value doesn't grow on trees, what's a synonym, like earthy type things, or branches, value, material type things, matter even, just something of a substantial something. And yeah, I don't know if that means anything to anyone, but it seemed kind of interesting to me, so maybe I'll pass it along and just pull one more card for Friday weekend. Magician, upright, so I feel like it's very decline or an upward slope, or something shifting around, or just ups and downs, or even just wondering how you could like maybe incorporate another element again. Could have been something I said there, but he has all his elements, all his tools. I think of like having your like sewing workshop area, like your scissors, your tape measure, your things like that. So just making sure you have everything with you when you, maybe if you're going on some kind of a trip. Just starting fresh, like a new week. Maybe wondering if you left something behind, if you forgot to say something. This is using your mind, your mental faculties, just getting everything in a good, like synced, good mental flow of maybe ideas or communication, or just infinity to just connection, to making connections with, just things that you tend to hear all the time, maybe something that stands out to you, or just translating also as above, so below, the things that come through in these readings and how they might apply to whatever you're wondering about, or context and things like that. But again, Gemini is often associated with this card because of Mercury, and Mercury has to do with your speech and your communication. And that was the two, that I just dropped. So maybe wondering what to say. how to break through, or how to say what it is you want to say, to make it clear for people. Because upright, I mean, this person is someone who like makes magic with their words. Basically, is an alchemist of sorts, of any, however that applies to you, mixing of different things, creating solutions. Very like a brilliant idea also may come through. Just saying your opinion too. Like you think something. So maybe being a little careful what you say, because this could be someone who just like rushes in and doesn't think before they talk. So but mainly I just feel like it's some sort of connection with like spirit, with almost like fate or destiny or something like that that you're working with. Like you're almost kind of just making things happen, making I want to say even like seeing potential in things. In work, or in maybe it's like a weekend project or something like that. Yeah, so yeah, maybe I'll do separate weekend reading, because the twos are there as well. So twos must be important. I also think of 11 and twos. It's 11 being a gateway of a master number. It's visionary type characteristic in numerology. It's a gateway, a doorway to like the other side. Think of the high priestess being 2, but in the numeral 11, it's kind of some sort of parallel there. Oh my gosh. It's like a candle going up. Justice and the high priestess, or just another 2 is like a lower parallel to the high priestess, towards that other side gateway, towards something that is truth, fact, mental clarity, things like that. Maybe there is going to be some sort of epiphany or mental clarity, or just understanding of how to maybe look at things or approach something, say something. This could be like two sides of the same, or like a double-edged sword, or like, between a rock and a hard place kind of thing, maybe. Or it could be a decision, or just making up your mind with something, but I feel like there is something having to do with the moon, and just using your intuition and relying on some other senses, of some other ways of making a decision besides just maybe hearsay or something like that. Something could look similar to something else, something could be familiar, or just two ways of looking at something. Also defenses, like a sort of mental defense system, and just sort of uncrossing your arms, even body language maybe, could be of some sort of importance. I think of like the Karate Kid with this or something, but it could just be crossing over, crossing something off your list, things that you wanted to say. It's not being blind to a situation either. It's again sort of not relying totally on hearsay, but taking other things into account, seeing some sort of clear way through, or just again to 11. When things add up to 11, can also be considered a 2 in numerology, which is what I feel like is my little gateway in the moon sign, because it's at 29 degrees in the 11th house, so it's 11:11, and also Jupiter in 11 degrees. It's all kind of connected. So I don't know, maybe just things, again, clarity. Things are just this sort of epiphany. You see the light. You know you're on the right track. You're headed somewhere with like openness to whatever. Just trying to maintain a positive attitude, maybe stopping to smell the flowers, just being a little bit maybe naive or something. So again, this could be talking about like opening your eyes and seeing what's in front of you. The 2 as well, and just juggling things around and wondering, trying to make sense of something. You just need to say it like it is, and be open-minded. Whatever comes in this week, just starting at the 0 point, remaining at the 0, seeing things go around you. I want to say having like some sort of innocence too with how you approach something this week. You have no defenses up because it's a brand new experience and it's a brand new, maybe you've just taken a new way to work. It's some sort of like just opening up to newness and maybe feeling called towards that or some sort of out of the box thinking, feeling like almost even comfortable with the journey ahead or what you might stumble across, and also just just I feel like it's like lowering your defenses and just being open more so to whatever, not looking to the past so much, and maybe looking towards the future a little bit more this week. And so let's rinse a button here too. Okay, so I'll move on to just creative reading, and I'm just going to pull a bunch of cards. I actually already pulled some from just random decks like the runes and things that just save a little bit of time. I haven't looked at them yet, so this did pop out upright, and I think this person looks like this tarot card reader, Ultraviolet Dove, and this actually flew out when I was listening to a song that's in the supplementary playlist by Afraid of Nothing, and it flew out right as the lyrics say, I knew the day that I'd show you my face. It's weird, again, it's like the 2 of spades. It's like, what's it all mean? What's the linkage? Be like the missing link to something, or again, ties, links. Other things that came through for that were, I think of it, but adjusting a link, or so the midpoint, also conjunction, maybe aspects in your chart are making some sort of strong conjunction this week. Things working in conjunction also, like I feel like the strength curves on the bottom was upright, so I feel like it's also having some good health and just feeling like vitality also this week. So wondering how things indeed there. So from the Klimt deck, Jack of Spades, or probably something more like the Knight of Spades or Knight of Discs. This is Gertha Felsovanyi, 1902. Somewhere in, I don't know, somewhere probably in Germany. It's very, I feel like her hair is the same sort of like, trim on something maybe is important, and I see like little 4 dots in the corner. I don't know if that has something to do with something, but again, could have something to do with being solid. From the Shakespeare's Flowers deck, the 3 of Spades. So that's kind of like plans, detailed work, blueprints. I think of pattern making, figuring something out, something cryptic too, solving a mystery, starting from the beginning with something, This is mint, and here's flowers for you: hot lavender, mint, savory, marjoram, winter's tale. It's getting a little cold, but actually it's warmer here today than it has been. So, winter's tale, the 4th. So, gosh. Like cute cone-shaped flower, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of, again, vibrancy, just working well with others too, is usually its meaning. So, it also came through as, and also secrets, and that's interesting because secrets has been a big theme too, and I thought of that quote from Tesla that said, if you only knew the secrets of 3, 9, and 6, you'd have a key to the universe. And having a key, keys, even in the Ace of Pentacles video, is very much been a theme also. So, and justice in the universe popped out in that video as well, one after the other, and it's a lot of, justice, doorway, gateway, having the key, the law, the truth, or something like that, to unlock something, a doorway, and the universe popped out after that. So I just thought that was kind of I hadn't really thought of that before, but yeah, key to the universe. But yeah, so I feel like this can also be like around college time, just working in school. It could be talking about any phase in life, but timeline-wise could have more to do with just going to class, taking, learning something, taking notes, laying the groundwork for something. Maybe you're planting flowers. You're bringing some flowers. Here's flowers for you: hot lavender, mint, savory, something, a lot of earth energy, like sensual, something delicate, also like sensual and delicate. And then the rune that popped out was the self, Manaz, which it's kind of like, I'd say equivalent somewhat, even though it's the self. It's the symbol kind of looks like the two of, it's like a reflection of yourself. So it kind of reminds me of the Two of Cups, or just a two, because there is another rune that just has the one flag. And so it's like something coming back to you and complimenting you, or just completion, 1 to 2. This says, and it means its letter is M, because they all translate to an alphabet as well. It's how I think it was Odin taught language to ancient Nordic tribes, I guess. It says, sun and moon and your own heart, speak always of that which abides in solitude and stillness. Know that the journey begins and ends with the self. And talk about a journey, the Fool. The starting point is the self. Its essence is water. Only clarity, willingness to change is effective now. A correct relationship to yourself is primary, for from it flows all possible right relationships with others and with the divine. Remain modest, that is the oracle's counsel, regardless of how great may be your merit, by yielding, devoted and moderate, and then you have some true direction to your life. Be in the world, but not of it. That is implicit here. Remain open and receptive, yielding to impulses flowing from the divine, within and without. Consider at all times that which is coming to be and passing away, and focus on that which abides. Nothing less is called for from you now. This is a time of major growth and rectification rectification. Go rectifying opposites. But as a rule, does it say? Oh, and as a rule, rectification must come before progress. The field must be tilled before the seed is planted, the garden weeded before the flowers bloom, and the self must know stillness before it can sing its true song. Rather than seeking credit for accomplishments or focusing on results, be content to do your task for the task's sake. Herein lies the secret of experiencing a true present. If you take the rune of the self and cut it down the middle, you will see the rune of joy with its mirror image. There's a subtle caution here against carelessness, as the self and the self comes into balance. Nothing in excess was the second phrase written over the gateway at the Temple of Delphi. The first counsel was know thyself. The Temple of Delphi, there was the Oracle of Delphi in ancient Greece, and there's the priest that then translated her messages from Apollo to bring the messages. So reversed, Minaz reversed urges you to begin by being clear with yourself. Rather than turning to others, look inside in silence for the enemy of your progress. No matter what part of your life is in disarray, stop and consider. You will recognize the outer enemy as a clear reflection of what you have until now been unable or unwilling to recognize as coming from within. Above all, be humble. Breaking the momentum of past habits is the challenge here. In the life of the spirit, you are always at the beginning. It's like the Fool. So, see, like, kind of looks like pattern or Planet Pulse videos in the supplementary playlist, and just, yeah, you feel like, you know, like, I don't, radio signals. I think there's, 7 stars, kind of similar maybe to the stars, like not seeing your reflection. I think of the reflecting pool in the star card, cycle spirals and making a tunnel, Fool 0. The sun's coming out behind. But there's more information with that, and it's number 1. So again, yeah, it does have to do with the self. It's like the magician 1. So maybe starting new at something again, working a new work group, a new project, a new task, a new endeavor, or way of seeing, feeling about something. Being, sometimes I feel like the pentacles are like a description of your state of being, and yeah, just maybe like taking care of yourself, you know, like giving yourself some love, some time to adventure, some time to, you know, and how can we do that in a daily way, a daily basis, like even just switching up again your routine or something, and yeah, giving yourself a little adventure, see what else you see on the way to work or something. Some new or different, what signs, things you might come across. Oops. So from the top deck, maybe I will start with the Hermetic Tarot. It's black and white. I always feel like black and white's the beginning. The Emperor, upright. So again, this is like general reading. Sun of the morning. The sun was popping out behind the rock there. It's funny, like, there's the 3 of Pentacles, Sun. It says S-O-N, but it could be S-U-N. And the Jack of, or the Knight of Spades, so like the Knight of Earth. So sun's coming out from the Earth, behind the Earth. Emperor has that same sort of like circular radio signal kind of things going everywhere. Aries, maybe. There's also a little bee, and usually the Emperor is pretty like still, pretty solid, but seems to be like working on something, or you know, in the middle of doing something. Temperance is on the bottom. Daughter of the reconcilers. So again, justice, peace, like reconciling, rectifying two different things, opposite energies. The flames. She looks like she's pouring like lightning bolts into on one side, and it's kind of different. Electrical, water, electric, velocity, movement, and like inspiration coming from yourself, from your inspiration, from what moves you, and that being the sort of momentum, the velocity behind what you choose to pursue. How inspirational something is also is a starting point or a way of analyzing how much growth, like I think it said before, volume, velocity, speed, something will have. So let's read from it. There's tons of symbolism. Hey, or window, beneath the emperor's left foot is a bee, the alchemical equivalent of the ram. Two wild Himalayan ram's heads, one in the upper left and the other at the center right, relate to the sign of Aries, which appears at the right. The ego and the flag combine to suggest a conqueror in the idea of authority. Supernatural powers are suggested at the top of the card by the celestial bodies and bodies that personify power, and also sudden, random, and violent activity. The orb, surrounded by a Greek cross at the lower left, signifies that energy has reached a successful end and that government and/or governmental rule has been firmly established. Could mean conquest, war, victory, strife, power, ambition, and productivity, like being effective in your work, and some sort of power, authority figure. That is somehow so very involved. Yeah, so it could just be like also, a firm foundation kind of thing as well. Having a good handle on something, being able to grasp the situation, have it in control, maybe in control of yourself. Self came up, and just, commander kind of person, someone who instructs, someone who oversees also. It's kind of dry in here, so from the top deck, Justice. And the last one, and the Knight of Swords is on the bottom too, so it's like law and maybe helicopter too, looks like. So again, Libra or maybe Gemini, having like, this looks pretty, like there's a lot of movement even from the other cards, but it's pretty steady. So again, it's like finding that center. Mental clarity, truth. It's so weird. And I have discs on the bottom. There, too. Tower. Eight of Pentacles. The Sun. Ten of Wands. Are you feeling guilty or laying something down because it's reversed? Depression. 10. Reducing down to 1. Yourself again. And Mars and Gemini. Prince of Swords. Lots of thinking going on. That could have just been like a progression for one person. Prince of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune. So more of that sort of transit to maybe transiting your some water sign in your house or some watery planet. If you're very into astrology, but also I think of like electricity, like windmill kind of things. He always looks like he's bringing a bouquet of flowers, and he has a Slurpee cup. An eagle too at the top, but it's a snake, but it's okay. Yeah, so maybe there's something about flowers, maybe some sort of, maybe you lucked out. Again, a 10, just in time. Queen of Wands. Okay, really focusing, so let's see what else in this deck. I was just going to do one each deck. I think that's what I was saying. Art, Temperance again. So there we go. And the Death or Osiris, Scorpio and Sagittarius. Some overlap of water and fire, energy coming back to life, and like again some sort of mixing cauldron, opposite energies, reconciliation to create a third whole, like the Three of Spades, the Three of Pentacles. That, yeah, string instruments, like music I have going is just a violin. I think he does covers of songs, so maybe you recognize the song. But it's, yeah, bringing maybe something back from the past, resurrecting an old artistic hobby or way of feeling, because this is usually about a very balanced energy. And all these cards have had this sort of like, in the background here even, on the mountain, it has all the different runes, the 24 runes. And this is the alchemical cycle, which has this hidden 8-step too. And 24 cycles, lots of cycles, even the 2 moons here, so I think they're lunar cycles, and 14-5, making, baking, creating, finding harmony maybe within yourself, maybe just 2 opposing ways of going about something, or methods or processes or ways of approaching maybe your, how you see yourself, I guess, in yourself, or just work or something. Maybe you're trying to find a happy medium and balance yourself in a way. Feel balanced. Feel like you are, not overworking something too. Maybe even just yourself. That's on the bottom. And yeah, just making time for yourself, maybe. Sign science on the bottom. We have art and science, and the 8th house Scorpio, about like the depths, the essence of things, and then combining something at the essence in order for it then to then take on all these different layers and ripples and newness. And the Fool's on the bottom there. Knight of Wands. Alright, sometimes it's very strange. Sometimes it's just perfect, like they just go through them and it'll be like an entire, I don't know. But again, the eagle and the lion and just opposite natures maybe. This, I don't know, I was always worried that people thought I had like a split personality or something, because I talked about these like masculine, feminine, opposite natures within yourself and balance and like harmony and things like that. But I think it just maybe depends a lot on how you're wired, you know, or where your focus is, your strengths, and as far as the astrological planetary alignment for you. I happen to have a ton of fire, creative, passionate energy with a lot of air, and also sort of opposite but balanced with water. So it's always kind of trying to not get overly emotional about something, not get overly analytical or too much in my head, or not get overly fired up about something until I've maybe worked out the details, that kind of thing. Because very strong pulling effects, kind of like the two of, you can recognize those things in yourself when you have a way to reflect it, like the astrological wheel, and reflect on it. Like, does that, how does that work for me in that area of my life? And I think bring some things to your attention, even those kinds of distinctions, as far as perceptual learning goes. Comparing, contrasting, looking up different meanings for planetary placements and the astrological wheel and all these things, how they all link up and parallel one another in different ways, maybe more so at the essence or base meaning, but, or through numbers, but all those distinctions, all those just comparisons and looking at the details and things like that are great for exercising those perceptual learning skills. So it's almost like, yeah, an art form, because it opens up new ways of seeing things and new ways to incorporate different elements and things that maybe you never thought of too. So just turning yourself into art, living art, because if art is experience, then you are someone who turns your experiences into art. That is how I approach most things, and always mixing in new elements and looking at things from different characteristics or perspectives and things like that, and trying to almost incorporate them, bring them into whatever it is you're learning about or working on, or even just your daily life in a way, to better understand them, to better experience what it is that you're interested in. Going beyond, obviously, just like the study of it, how can something that you're interested in, a hobby, whatever it is, how can you apply those same or transfer those same, sometimes I feel like that's like a transfer, those same skills or energies into whatever it is you're working on a more regular basis, incorporating new elements, things like that, to switch things up a bit and keep them fresh and new and alive, and showing you something and giving you something to think about and reflect on, and challenging yourself in that way too. Yeah, so I'll pull from the outdoors before for myself, from the angels, see what angel we have here with us. Angels, energies of or advice, wisdom, words of wisdom for from angelic spread your wings. I feel like this is the Fool card, basically. Just being open to whatever comes your way. And this is Archangel Ariel. Do not hold back right now. The timing is perfect and you are ready to soar. So think of Little Mermaid. I made everyone, when that movie came out, I made everyone call me Ariel for like 3 months, as if it was my new name. It's probably my favorite Disney movie. And I think of being in the depths of something like Scorpio, you know, and trying to come up to find the land in a way, the grounding, the realistic way of, yeah. But also, fish have been coming up a lot, and I think of, yeah, mermaid, spreading your wings, flying, not holding back. Timing is perfect, and you are ready to soar. Sensitivity, I've never gotten that card before. Archangel Haniel, your extra sensitive energies, emotions. No, I have gotten this card before. Honor yourself and your feelings, but like heart, string instruments, and the moon I think of as the 4 strings, the 4 directions of the wind, I mean, I think I've talked a lot about this in a lot of different videos, but just how I connected the 8 lunar cycles to also the alchemical, everything in those graph plays are put into one little dot that is basically an imaginary dot. It's just the essence of all that. Energy in one area of the sky that's always moving as the planets move because they create a midpoint. And hopefully that makes sense to people that have been following along and are interested, but moving on. Yeah, so again, I have 4, 8 lunar cycles that, you know, everything can be 12. 12 months, 24 months, 2 years, everything is on like a 2-year sort of, at least for me is what I've noticed, everything sort of regenerates 2 years. Even my computer and my hard drive happened to me twice. 2 years apart had to be replaced. My phone at the same time was like a vortex into another dimension. It looked like it was purple and like holographic universe kind of looking. Yeah, but, and that's interesting because we talk about, like, I've heard somewhere how machines, or maybe it's computers, double their knowledge or information database every 2 years or something like that. If I can remember where I heard that, I'm going to put it below, but just interesting 2-year cycles, and two being the gateway, doorway. It's the other side. Yeah. So strings, and I think that's where I started, strings, and each string being, you know, like even the 4 vocal cords, or yeah, the 4 directions of the wind, of 4 different elements, the moon influencing all these different things. So you can kind of see how that ratio of 4 to 8 that I spoke about in a few other views really works with everything, and how each microcosm to like macrocosm planetary energies is kind of brought into this one, condensed down into one point. It also represents a point in the sky. So as above, so below. And also represents your mental process, you know, the alchemical cycle. Another way of looking at that is physicality, or your psychology. It's a natural process, it's a natural evolution from one thing to the next, and whatever context that comes about, there's always this consistent process of how one stage, one step naturally brings about the next. So you can look at it from any of those perspectives, and so even those plays, yeah, so one point will not only connect the midpoints between planets in the solar system, but it also represents a vocal cord, or a string on the instrument or a note or a processy. So when you're doing it, it's almost like working with the stars, the heavens, the energies, all condensed down into what you're seeing on your screen, and allowing yourself be fixated, almost letting your mind be clear, open to receive new information, and things like that. I don't bore people with talking about that. I just don't know if this is anyone's new here and they haven't heard me talk about that before, but yeah, so there's videos on it if you're interested. Let's pull from this deck. The Death again, Queen of Cups. I'm gonna Diet Coke, which I love Diet Coke. I know I'm supposed to not. It's so bad for you. Queen of Cups, though, and really what this has come through as recently is resurrection, Queen of Cups, Holy Grail, embodiment. Like, for things to make sense, I feel like we have to almost be, as a human race, need to have these ideas, these energies, these concepts personified, embodied, so we can almost make sense of them or relate somehow better to them. And perhaps the earth is even some sort of materialization or personification of God himself, since we talked about Socrates in the mirror, and just so many different ways of looking at things that I think is exciting. It opens up new questions, new curiosities to explore. Queen of Cups, though, again, so sensitivity and feeling emotionally mature, I think. She has this whole reflective dress. Almost it looks like she's kind of blending with her environment, like a mirrored dress or something. Surrounding, protection almost in a way, say. Also kind of analyzing something emotionally to death or something. So, you can be careful not to do that, but it is a way to enhance your just distinction. It turns things on, it lights things up in your brain to make those distinctions. And so it amplifies or, I think of Kool-Aid for the Analyst in that video by Kendrick Lamar and the Seven, which is, on the car with a golf thing, and it kind of looks a little bit like the imagery in the Seven of Wands, and then also just a bunch of other things, just kind of I try to bring also in the, choose videos based on the emotion behind something, and it's a little bit more aggressive energy, and it's also your 7th house, and it's your descendant, and things that maybe you don't think you are, or just fighting back something, but yeah, it's like Kool-Aid for the Analyst. I think all these details and all the numbers and all the little distinctions are probably definitely amazing, fun times for the analysts out there. So let's see, what else was I going to pull from? My little system did not work. Trying to keep the wind out. Okay. Let's pull from the Art of Life Tarot. Yeah, so I wore my rosary, so kind of making these connections to Mary from Ephesus and priestess and all these things. Let's see, what else do we need to know? Nine of Swords, again, I think that was on this to pop out. This is Head of Young Woman with Tousled Hair, or Leda, by Leonardo da Vinci, 1508, Gallery Nationale, Parma, Italy. So the longer we dwell on our misfortunes, the greater is their power to harm us. Voltaire. Francois Marie Arquette. No, that was his full name. Never noticed that before. But I think of Ever After, which is, I put a trailer for that. Post, in the supplementary video, and I think of how Leonardo da Vinci's in that movie. That was supposedly like Drew Barrymore's character that he painted, Cinderella, but how it obviously looks a little bit different from this actual painting in the movie. So, Leda, 4 kids, Moon, 4 kids, 4 directions, mythology, Swan came from, came down to earth and kind of thing, for that whole video playlist explanation video. But yeah, so 4 is important. Emperor, 9 of Swords, though, and just how many layers there are to something. Just being like almost like confounded by something, or just racking your brain, or having some sort of a headache with all the information, maybe. But 9 again being the end of some sort of cycle, or thought process, or something. And Seven of Pentacles also came out, which I was talking about that earlier with money doesn't grow on trees, as it popped out for, but also meta art and art, because usually he's looking over looking at everything that's been growing, at this thing that he's been working at, nurturing, and all the different flowers or things that are blooming. Think of all these different things all connected to the root, the heart of something through the essence of its sensitivity, its emotion, but also then, branching off, because that's what this can also talk about. Temperance is branching off, and branches of something, people branching off in alliances, keeping things together. Oops. 2 wands. Together, maybe doing something together, looking, never really thought of it this way, but also like looking up things to do together, like wanting to do something together. Maybe travel the road with Cassius by Roger de la Fresnaye in 1908. Musée de Ville de Paris, Musée Carnavalet, Paris, France. First step towards getting somewhere is to decide that you are not going to stay where you are. J.P. Morgan. So again, I feel like it kind of goes with the Fools, like taking that first step, that leap of faith, of trust, of anything, and deciding on a direction. Maybe you feel like you have a whole world in your hands, like you could just kind of go anywhere, do anything, and watching over, though, too, both these, like, she kind of almost could be watching over something, looking at something with admiration or adoration kind of thing. And usually is holding a globe, watching out for, could be even, not the way that we even think of it, like some other dimension or something. Maybe those that watch out for us are even here, living. They know something we do, or something, Maybe we choose to come back and to know, these things or not, to know some mysteries or not, to come back blind experience life for like the first time, and then we have people around us that are have chosen to come back knowing these things and having like an elevate or a different like different spiritual level or something. Like could even work in with a game, sort of. It's like a game of life. How you choose to come back. This doesn't necessarily have to mean like watching over. To be like on the ground, to be just think of cities in the sky, and or from Les Miserables, and castles in the sky. And I said like some people have thought they've seen like actual things in the sky. Well, who knows, they could be invisible, but yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be that, because to be involved, to be even in a force of change or something, to find intervention kinds of things also, or just would make sense that you could come back also as knowing things too, of being a different sort of consciousness awareness. The Emperor is on the bottom. First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Henry VIII. Anne Boleyn. I think the other sister, Mary. Other sister, Mary's a big name, but did I even say this? With time and patience, the mulberry leaf becomes a silk gown. Chinese proverb. And this is The Empress of China, Holy Mulberry Leaves by Bernard Rode, and 1773, Berlin, Germany. Yeah, so Empress and image, yeah. It's your second time around. I think of even in like Westworld kind of idea, like you can maybe go back in time, and it's just what I was getting at more through, some sort of elevator, which you can see in the Hierophant video. And they're at the theme park in a way, and unless you follow me, this probably won't make a ton of sense, but yeah, and they go into the elevator and where they want to go, and they decide to go back to 2000 BC. So kind of, as a way of movement transit through some sort of portal elevators. But also even the buttons on the elevator, it's 29, 23, and that came through in the last reading a lot. Moon and Empress, or what was it, 2, 3, or, and I think of that as the ratio 2, 3 is the perfect fifth in music. So it's also bringing something to life and personifying or embodying, or even through what you are creating, allowing that to take on the essence of an emotion, like the High Priestess to the Empress, bringing something into reality, which I think of as the Emperor, and by the way, that was important because sometimes I forget, I'm talking to myself here basically, and forget what I have covered and haven't, but 29 and what is it? 29 and 21 was actually what it was, and so that was the connection, because I have my moon at 29 and the Venus at 21. So I thought that was funny. 7 and maybe 4, 11, another gateway, or maybe Mulberry Street in New York. It's the only one I know of. Leaves, harvest time, raking leaves, Berlin, Germany, time and patience. And so I feel like maybe also like you're getting there, time and patience. In that movie, Ever After, he was painting the Mona Lisa around that time too, and Henry VIII was 16th century, so around the same time too. Anne Boleyn and France and Oxford, Germany. I don't know. Maybe there's some connections there. Ten of Pentacles. I'm just going to pull more than one card, so I've already pulled. 2911, 1111. Yeah, so having some sort of mirror reflection, like being able to look in your like rear view mirror or something, I think of with the High Priestess. She's looking at you, but yeah, the curtain behind her, think of it almost as like some sort of, yeah, what she's holding, maybe a rear view mirror, being able to see what's going on in this other unknown space behind her. Something that you can't see as well. It's not as obvious what's in front of you as what's in front of you, that kind of thing. I don't know, maybe I'll pull one more from this because kind of pulling a lot of the same cards have been coming through. Still to do a video that explains the alchemical cycle, but I thought I also might, instead of doing playlists that do go through the tarot, because I've done that a few times, I'll maybe make playlists that represent the different alchemical cycles. Actually, I'm pretty sure this is going to do, I just have to find them. So as a way of showing also those different progressions and stages, and so people can better understand them. I'm losing my hat. This is the Knight of Swords. Again, different deck. To dare is to lose one's footing momentarily, not to dare is to lose oneself. A lot, kind of like the Fool, like to lose one's footing, or to take a leap of faith. Soar and Kierkegaard, Don Quixote by Honoré Jr., 1865-70, Munich, Germany. Can't really see what he has. No, it's just very like broad brush strokes or something, like almost. Also layers, 3 layers. New horizon lines. New objectives. Again, Knight of Swords and the Page of Pentacles on the bottom here. So, Temptation of St. Anthony, Netherlands. 1500s. Maybe there's some sort of connection between the 16th century and the 19th century. The sun even came out. It's number 19. Let's see. Just pull from a lot of tarot because different locations, different imagery. This isn't a love reading, but whatever needs to come through. 5 of Air and the sun. And this is Venus in Aquarius. Maybe you have Venus in Aquarius, or just important planet in Aquarius, and you love Aquarian energy. The sun, though, also could have something to do with Leo, but just maybe your sun in one of those signs. Or maybe this describes you. 5 letters in the name, or just changing your, again, horizon lines, changing your perspective, taking a step back kind of thing. Flying solo, also maybe. Also think of Leonardo da Vinci with that because of the wings. They look like the ones that are in that video that I put in, supplementary. again, looking down over something. They're both looking down. There's one on the ground, one in the sky. So again, just maybe changing perspectives. Maybe even, you know, changing how you think about something, staying on the positive side, being positive. Your angle. There's a little butterfly corner there. And there's a hand. That's kind of creepy. Maybe it has something to do with like coming back to outside, reaching out. I don't know. This didn't come with like a thing that describes what each image is supposed to mean as far as like erotica goes. So your guess is as good as mine sometimes. But just windiness, and I feel like your thoughts being carried on the wind of your desires and things that you are thinking about. Just expressing yourself too, and just your essence. Feeling lifted, feeling uplifted. Again, maybe bringing something back that you forgot about, like bringing something back to life, like back, because it looks like a zombie or something coming out of like a grave or something. Because there's no, yeah, it's just a hand, just maybe a helping hand. I don't know, I can't really see what this is in the corner there. But maybe just flying high, butterfly here, butterfly effect, chain reaction, how you see yourself, how you, just the Five of Swords come through for a lot of different things. Again, I'm going to have to do another video that goes through some more translations that have been important recently, because I said I was going to do that and felt like doing other videos in the meantime, but my gosh, it's crazy windy. But I think they'd be helpful for people. So I think I mentioned Lorix, kind of, I don't know if you can even see it, but it's like, no, you can't see it. But it is this like stretch, like shimmery kind of fabric that I thought was interesting. Anyways, you really have to follow me closely, guys, or just have watched these videos and see, it's cool. Angel Love Oracle, Romance Angel card. We need to know separation. Time apart from your partner is on the horizon. So looks like she's missing him. He's holding his heart. Memories, maybe. Letting something lie. Healing family issues. Love life benefits as you forgive your parents. More uplifting energy, so it's full circles. Let's go. Romance, heart-to-heart conversations. The heart seems to be important. Honestly, discuss your feelings with each other. So, and there's that like seeing eye to eye or meeting. If you're separate now, maybe could be some sort of separation going on for you, but maybe also laying it all on the table, so coming back together, heart to heart. All these little like nymphs and fairies and angels, I feel like helping, or just maybe keep an open mind. I think that works well with the others. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. So, just talking, And the curtain, something with this curtain just keeps calling my attention. And maybe pulling back the curtain on something. Revealing something. Cool, just one more, because love is usually more fun than, I don't know, we'll see. What else? Anything else? Wisdom, words of wisdom for those seeking romantic advice. Let your friends help you. Ask for and accept support from others. So I feel like all of these are very much like social, maybe 11th house, social groups, networking, social media. The Knight of Air came through a lot. Maybe some sort of direct message or a lot of information, or maybe asking. 11th house I think of also is like, yeah, just like social network, getting to know people. Again, like I said, a trip, maybe you're going on a trip and you want to connect with, friends of friends or something like that. Or maybe you're like me, you moved home and you want to have your friends, introduce you to people, that kind of thing. Be friends on the other side, bringing together lots of angels and things like that. Forgiving and learning. To release and heal the past, you experience more love in the present moments. Experiencing something that you love to do. What is that? Can you make time for that? Can you bring people on to do that with you? Let's see. I'm on a little bit of like a romantic kick, so pull from Mr. Cameron deck. It's not so romantic, but any romantic advice or something. I don't know. This is Queen of Fire, I think. No, Queen of Pentacles. Reina. Rain. Regina. So that like crossing. More of like an oops moment. Think of your aura, looking after something, holding something dear to you, maybe something that keep like a little keepsake with you, also good luck charm kind of thing. This could be another earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, Queen of Earth. So things like Princess Leia with her hairdo, and backup, maybe you need a backup outfit or backup dress or something. Yeah, it could be a keepsake, something that you keep with you, and hold some value to you, or it's very like usually very like nurturing and grounded and relaxed energy. So this is the 5 of Wands. Is some of these sheets though, all these curtains. 5 of Wands, some sort of conflict, maybe at work or something like that. Confusion or just cross-disciplinary, cross-section, lots of like crossing dimensions, crossing paths, Crossing your arms kind of thing, like seeing open towards you. Be season 2, but I mean, do seasons came through earlier too, so but maybe it's time to it's time, but crisscrossing or just different crisscrossing your, I don't know, that keeps coming through, but like a game or competition, or you have a lot going on and just you're trying to, again, see where you can multitask or make sense of something, a couple different things at the same time. Gosh. It's the Knight of Pentacles again. Different deck, so being slow or just taking your time maybe, or throwing something, I don't know. So back to, I don't know, I was like, these cards, how do I explain all of them, but this is the 5 again, 5 of Swords, so 5 of Swords, be important. This is lots of writing and things happening. It's like they're wearing the same dress. He's trying to take it off here, he's trying to take it off here, like just take off the dress, like he's trying to take it off here. Finally he just like, there's this other, I don't know, the transits maybe cross mid, I don't, 5th house, 5th, May, 5th of May, the world on the bottom here. It's because it looks pretty familiar, some of this imagery like this. It's sculpture in the living room area and Clueless, and then I noticed like 4 of Cups, some more earrings, the world, the globe, all the different axes, or what the picture is really talking about. So again, he just has this lots of drapery mirror that I mentioned before, kind of like the moon, or just, yeah, or wanting to be able to see some, different angles, or reflect, but a rear view mirror or something. These cards I'm not as familiar with, but yeah, the Knave of Wands, Aries or something. So, yeah. Here contrast with what I've said in different contexts, and let's see. Getting along, so I'm going to pull one from this, kind of see where they combine. The Sun again, Ace of Swords, the Mice, 7 of Clubs again, and the Fox, 9 of Clubs. Something else that fell out was this card. These 2 cards, maybe. Here we go. The Tree and the Key. 2 mirrors, the 2 moons, 2 crescent moons, the rear view mirror, and the 22 Hebrew letters that these represent. also falling leaves, and the wheel of fortune, and the astrological wheel, the key to the wheel, the key to it's like growth, Four of Cups, key maybe, rays of sunlight to illuminating these two moons, illuminating the key to whatever it is maybe you're trying to take a step back and solve right now. Also 7 sunflowers, and just, this is number 5 though, and this is 33. So maybe I'll read the key though. This one came from like the last reading, I think, so dying to know, like, you can go back and watch that. This hasn't come out for a while, so key 8 of Swords, or 33. This is positive, access, certainty, doors open, important, mastery, necessary, security or defense kind of thing. Solutions, success. Success is important success. This is the big wish card of the deck that unlocks doors or keeps secrets. So much like the High Priestess, you know. Where the key shows up, look around it, or indicates that there are important things going on. Maybe something with the tree. Also, something might be missing, and the key can point the way. On a spiritual level, it can also mean higher divine forces are at work in your life. It also is a card for your own hidden potential, so you need to meditate on the concepts around it, understand your full abilities and art and direction, choosing direction, all these cards that came up, the Emperor, maybe some sort of prophetic or important dream that's talking about the moon, or again, a great success. Important decisions ahead, maybe, and having the key to know exactly what to do. Something that comes to mind, something that almost feels like it was divinely put into your path prior, so that when the situation arose, you would have the answer, the right word, or the thing that it reminds you of to make the connection, to solve the problem, solve the riddle, to choose a direction kind of thing. Love, this is a relationship on a deep soulmate level, understanding of the heart and essence of a relationship. Career, very critical and significant new change in your job and understanding and mastery of your career. I think of the video that I kind of put up, I couldn't find a clip of that scene from Marie Antoinette anywhere on YouTube where she's performing. She's on performances for her friends and her family, so I kind of feel like that's what I've been doing here a little bit too, and just having fun with it, and the tent and the gardener's daughter in the Art of Life Tarot kind of remind me of the set and her costume, or that painting. I think it was the 10 of Cups, yeah, I just thought it was a good way to show like a conclusion to something, or take a bow or something like that. Close the door in one part and move forward, but also as part of the supplementary playlist, just different reasons I, couldn't find it online, and I hope that, anyways, so characteristics, qualities, an insightful and spiritual person, one of key influence. Image origins. This card has more esoteric significance than most other cards. As the 33rd card in the deck, and 33 being the highest degree in Masonry, the key card conveys a sense of spiritual unlocking. The sun is derived from the Fool card, the light of pure knowledge. The moons on either side are from the High Priestess, lending an air of mystery to the image. The key itself is made up of the Wheel of Fortune and the pillars off the Hierophant card, indicating a mastery of fate in a way. The moons and the key from the planetary symbols for Uranus, a planet of new understanding. The odds from the moon card are 11 in number, being attributed to mastery and numerology. Well, I feel like that kind of sums up everything that we've talked about. Maybe I'll write that out or something. I was going to pull one of these RUMI Oracle cards, but they're really long, so maybe I'll just read the title and see if there's anything of importance to put in the details below. Celestial Rose of Ma, 10. Here, this is kind of also funny. Also looks very... She offers the sacred wine, so drink. 32. Today I am 32. Probably shouldn't tell my age, but yeah, it was my birthday, and but something about Australian time too seems to be important, and in Australian time, you can see on your birth chart, it's the 27th for me, and my birthday, and I think, or maybe that's universal time, but Australian time I know is 3:09. What is it? This explains some things. Sydney time, not Australian time. Sydney time is 36:09. So something about Sydney, I think Australia, and Tesla's thing, Key to the Universe, 36:09, and and I have it at that Magdalena at 27, so it's like 11. It's just my own little like trains of thought that make me curious to look into something new, and kind of also I feel like helps. Otherwise, it would just be a complete jumble of ideas and randomness, and I feel like I'm sort of connecting and filling in the gaps of my train of thought, which isn't always the clearest. So, 10. Just up to 9, the impossible made possible. 10 is Celestial Rose of Ma. I'll just read the poem and then, yeah. The taste of bitterness becomes sweetness in love. The searching in the dark finds the light of faith revealed in love. Love transforms thistles into jasmine. Love layers heaven and gifts us with wings to soar into its mystery. Love transforms our every thought into a desire of the heart. Oh love, how divine is your luring. Beauty flows from your unseen face. Your very nature is radiant with joy. You manifest vibrant hues in every flower. Your touch dazzles all creation. Every particle is attracted toward you, longing to unite and dwell in you. RUMI. Divine Mother offers me her rose. How rich that gift may be. Not begrudge. For I love the rose, and so I love what is necessary for her to be. So I love the thorns too. All the little yeah, I was gonna say off the cuff doing this, and kind of have to be patient and connect things too. But all the things that maybe don't seem necessary, that I would probably try to edit out. Maybe they are. They tell a different story. They connect the dots. May have some significance to you, or remind you of something, or bring you somewhere new. So, yeah, this is getting really long. So, anyways, thanks for joining me. Thanks for being here. I hope you enjoyed the reading and helped you out in some way, or brought some insights to your week ahead or situation you're dealing with. So, anyways, bye. Thanks for watching. Bye.